Chamatkar Sandhu sitting alongside Ross, the real deal Pearson, who was supposed to fight on this card, but unfortunately had to pull out due to injury. So Ross, first of all, it was unfortunate that you got that injury. Can you just give us an update in terms of where you are right now with the rehab?
Yeah, rehab's going great. 3 weeks post-surgery. I'm already back to about 60% of training. Running, lifting, bike, hitting bags, pads. The only thing I can't really do is go live with anyone else's weight, twisting on us and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be probably about another 3 weeks before I'm back to 100% training. So yeah, it feels good. I'm just excited to get back into it.
Do you feel you're almost cursed with any matchup with Melvin Guillard at the moment? Obviously, with how the first fight went, and now having to be pulled out due to injury.
Yeah, he's my nemesis. Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. We should be having like the best fights in UFC history. We should be like Stephen Bonner and Forrest, the way we both fight, and it's always a fight that the fans should be like in awe of. You know, it's we kind of let the fans down a little bit. These things happen in the sport, you know, illegal knee or not. I didn't want the fight to be stopped. Doctor pulled it, you know. But for fighter safety, it is what it is. Melvin didn't want a no contest on his record, and I didn't want one on mine. So definitely, it's a fight that the fans deserve to see what really should have happened, you know. And that's what this week should have been, you know. Bitterly disappointed that I couldn't come and do it. But you know, it's not the end of the world. We'll get it on down the line, you know. Melvin's still young, I'm still young. He's chasing his dream, I'm chasing mine. So we're going to cross paths again in the future.
Did you get a chance to speak to Mark Goddard after the fight, and do you understand why he made his decision?
Yeah, definitely. I spoke to him not right after the fight. It was probably like the week after the fight down on BT Sport, and yeah, he made for a split-second judgment. His timing was incredible, you know. I wasn't looking as Joe Rogan calls it, as playing the game. I wasn't looking for that at all. It was actually Melvin with his high underhook and his pressure on my head, who was actually driving me back down to the floor. I wasn't looking to go back down to the floor. If you watch the fight, I was trying to get back up, and it was just in the crazy scramble that we were. He threw 2 knees, and unfortunately, it didn't hit us like to knock us out. It like sliced us. His knee like come down my face, so I didn't actually feel the knee when it landed. Mark Goddard stopped it, and I was like, "Whoa, what's wrong? Like, I'm fine." And then that's when I felt the blood come down my face. You know, I didn't actually feel the knee. It's like a shot. It just like glances, and I think like when you watch it in slow motion, it hits us like on the top of the chest here. So yeah. Unfortunately, with the rules of an illegal knee and the way that it cut us, because if it didn't cut us, probably Mark Goddard would have just went, "Don't do that again," and the fight would have carried on, you know. So unfortunately, the knee cut us, and the doctor ruled it that I couldn't continue, you know. So Mark Goddard made the decision of something that Melvin done illegally, which caused the fight to stop, was ruled in a no contest, you know. I still believe that a downed opponent rule sucks. I definitely believe that it should be looked at and brought out best for a mixed martial arts fight. I don't see the difference in kneeing someone in the face standing as what you do with one hand on the floor. Kneeing in the face is getting kneed in the face. It don't matter where you are. So,
and that's one of the things, isn't it? It's not really the referee's fault too much, so to speak, because at the end of the day, I mean, they've got probably the most difficult job in MMA. It's more about the actual unified rules and something that needs to be looked at to actually progress the sport in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely. Not taking anything away from Mark Goddard, you know. He done a great job. He's a great referee, and he made that decision on, I think, like 1.3 of a second, you know, which is incredible, you know. So yeah, it's definitely something that the unified rules need to be looked at in mixed martial arts, and something for the fighters as well. You know, how many fights do you see where it happens? I think just 2 weeks later, a guy got a broken jaw from an illegal knee. I can't remember his name.
Was that the Derek Brunson fight?
No, it wasn't the Derek Brunson fight. It was the Swedish guy, lightweight, featherweight, 45. And I can't think of his name.
Name escapes me.
Yeah, gone. But yeah, he had a fight called a disqualification for the exact same thing, down opponent and a knee to the head. And so yeah, it's definitely something what the where we need to look at, and just to make the sport flow a little bit more, you know. Keep it going, you know. It's, no one wants to see the referee jumping in when you're in such a dominant position, you know. I'm not taking anything away from Melvin. I don't think he done anything intentional, because if it was in the other way around, I would have done exactly the same thing. So it's just the way the sport is, you know. And he didn't look to do something dirty or something. He's not a dirty fighter or anything by any means. He just went on the speed of the fight, you know, and it's just one of them things. Unfortunately, where I was, it was illegal, and if the rules had changed, you know, it wouldn't have been a illegal move, and the fight would have just went on the way it did.
Yeah, I'm looking at that scar on your forehead. I mean, was that one of the worst, probably, you know, the worst injury you've had inside the octagon, and how long did it actually take, you know, for it to stitch up and heal?
Oh, it's definitely not the worst. Not at all. Not at all. It took like, I think I had the stitches out 6 days later.
I think it looked pretty bad on TV.
Yeah,
I mean, with the blood pouring out, and you know, it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, it looked worse than what it was. I mean, I actually got a photo of when the doctor, before I stitched it up, he opened up and he was like, "Oh, I can see your skull." But
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty bad. It was like when I looked on my phone and I looked up at the cut, and I was like, well, yeah, you can't really complain of that to the doctor. I was, because before I saw it, I was like, "Red, what did he stop that for?" I was fine. I was like, there was no blood on my face. I was ready to go, and I was kicking off. And then my coach, Eric Del Fiero, was like, "Well, get your phone and have a look at your face." And I was just like, oh, all right, okay. I see where I'm going now. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, it looked horrible. It is what it is. I mean, I don't think I look too bad right now. I think it's healed up pretty good.
I mean, I'm sitting right next to you. I don't think we could pick it up on the camera, but I'm just listening to you.
I mean, I've sparred. Everything is not affected as one little bit. I got the doctor done a real good, clean job, stitched it up real good, and I don't think I'll have any issues with it in the future.
Okay. Well, I think there's probably no better person to ask about the MMA scene or the UFC scene specifically here in the UK. Now, this is the first of a new series of European cards here in Europe, and London's kicking it all off. Do things just seem, I mean, it seems bigger to me, but just for you, rolling into Fight Week, and then although you're not competing do things just seem that much bigger this time than compared to the Manchester card and other cards here in the UK?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, it's mixed martial arts is just evolving here tremendously. You know, only a few weeks ago I went to a smaller show where I used to compete on myself back in the day before the UFC, and there was like 4,000 people there. I was just like, there was like 50 people here when I used to fight here. I was like, what's going on? Like, it's getting so big. Yeah, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to be going through that process of being from the beginning, going all the way through to where it is now, you know. And definitely with the media attention, the fans, and the fighters that this country is producing, you know. Jimmy Minowa, Brad Pickett, Dan Hardy, myself, Bisbin, you know. Look at John Hathaway. I mean, unfortunately, he had a bad win, but he's come up. He's a great fight, you know. The list goes on. And Vaughan Lee, he's another one who's just come and produced. And then now we've got female fighters from Scotland. Jojo, she's going into the tough house, you know. It's just continuously producing these guys and girls. And, you know, we're going to have a world champion. And I still believe that it'll be me, you know. I still believe that I'm going to make it. 2014 was what I said would be my year to make a push for it. The first few months have been a bit shitty, but it's still not over yet. Yeah. There's still a lot of fight left in this year.
When can we expect you back in the octagon?
May. End of May. That's when. I know it's early, and my physio and my coaches are going that's maybe a little bit early, but that's what I want. I've already told myself May is when I want to fight, so that's when I'm pushing towards. And I've already spoke to the UFC, my management, and I've told everyone that's when it is, and they know.
I'm very interested that you said end of May, because this morning the UFC just announced that they're going to be in Berlin on May 31st. So I'm sure you had a bit of inside knowledge about that already. So is that the card that you're looking to make a comeback on?
Definitely, yeah. That's when I've looked at the things of sport, the UFC, the people here behind the closed doors, and nothing's been offered to us yet. There's been no fight lineup. I haven't even started training yet. So then Joe Silva's definitely not going to book us. But that's what I've told them. Keep my name penciled in. I'm coming back for then.
Brilliant. Oh, I've had a bit sweaty, but thanks a lot, Ross.
Thanks
Much
a lot, mate.
appreciated.
Anytime.
Yeah.